Okay, so that was the Korg NTS-1. I think these things are becoming quite popular, and rightly so. They're great. I really like mine. I'm using it quite a lot. But the only thing I'm finding is that with just the 3 knobs shared between the various different parameters, I'm finding that often when I go from one parameter set, so say for example the filter to the reverb, the parameter values are jumping quite a bit, and it's a little bit tricky to manage. And so luckily I've got a Behringer BCR2000 in my studio, and I would just I thought I'd hook that up to this. I've made a map to control it. I did a video a couple of months ago just sort of jamming with it, and in one of the comments a guy called Mick G said could I share the BCR map. So I've done that, or I'm about to do that. I've just got to export it, and I'll upload it and put a link on in the video description. But I'll just you've heard the NTS-1. You've heard how it sort of jumps about a bit when you play with the various different parameters. There's also a lot of hidden parameters within it, so often you have to press a couple of buttons and turn a knob, and thankfully with the BCR you don't have to do that so much. So I will usual caveats. I live next door to a building site and a train line. I thought the builders had knocked off early because there's a howling gale, but apparently they're still working. So it looks like we've got the weather, the builders, the train line, everything to contend with, but we'll battle on. It's fine. So yep, I'll just plug in my BCR and I'll go through the parameters with you. Okay, so as I was saying, I've created this map for the Behringer BCR2000. It's a controller. Obviously it's got lots of knobs. It's got 32 knobs on it. You can assign all kinds of CCs, MIDI controllers, or you can assign non-registered parameter numbers, all kinds of things to it. I use a piece of software called BC Manager, which seems to work quite well for me, but other people might use something else. The map I've created is in BC Manager, and because I don't use many soft synths, but the ones that I do have, I use the BCR with it, and essentially the layout that I've used, the knobs that I've assigned are similar to other soft synths that I've made maps for. So this is kind of intuitive for me, but if it's not right for you, I'm sorry. You know, what can I do? So yeah, each knob is assigned to a parameter on here, and we'll just go through them really. One thing to note, if I'm actually on the parameter that I'm changing the knobs for, you might see it will scroll through. So changing the filter type there, or if I go to the modulation section, changing there as we scroll through. But if I'm not on that particular parameter, so again if I go back to filter and I turn the modulation, you won't see it doing anything, although it is doing something in the background. Just something to note. So I'm going to be playing a few things on here. I'm using the inbuilt keyboard. I'll be hitting duff notes because even though I haven't got the biggest fingers, you know, it's tiny. So okay, we'll start off with the oscillators. We can scroll through. We've got up here in the corner, this is my oscillator section. So I've got oscillator type, and then next one is the shape, which is this one. So actually let's turn all the effects off, turn all the delays and everything off. That's better. So the shape. So you can hear that sort of wave shaping in the sawtooth there. And then the next one is the alternate parameter, which does some different things depending on what oscillator you're using. So yeah, we can scroll through those. The next one across, this isn't assigned to anything, it's off. The next one we have, I'm just going to, actually let's work our way down, might make a bit more sense. Let's go to the envelope generator. So the next knob here is, so there, this one we can cycle through our various envelope types. So we've got an ADSR, an attack hold release, like your organ type, attack release, the loop, and then the open gate. Let's just go to the attack release. These two knobs next to it, I've got the attack here, and the release. Okay, so that's my little envelope section there. Okay, so now we've got a nice lengthy envelope. Let's go back up to our oscillator section. So up here is the tremolo. These are the tremolo knobs. So we've got a tremolo depth, and we've got a tremolo rate. Up here. Okay, I think they're tucked away somewhere in the multiple press parameters. Next one's a bit of a strange one. It's the oscillator LFO, which sort of doubles. It's got both pitch and it's got or it can be applied to the oscillator shape. So, and then here we've got a rate parameter again. Okay, so that's our oscillator section. This is our little envelope section. I've got my arpeggiator section here. We'll come to that later. I guess the next place to go would be the filter. So on my maps, I always keep my filter in the bottom left-hand corner. I always know pretty much with all my synths that as soon as I press this, sorry, as soon as I turn this, that's always going to be my resonant, my filter cut off and the resonance next to it. If I go to our filter page, the only little curveball on this map, just to keep things a bit tidy, I had a spare rotary encoder up here, and this is where I've put the filter types. So you can cycle through your low pass filters. Let's open it up a bit. Band pass and high pass. Off. So okay, so that's where we are here. Now on the next one, there is a filter sweep envelope within the in the multiple press menus. So I've sort of it's either negative or positive, so we'll give it a positive filter sweep. So the sweep's going to go from it's be open and come down, and then we're going to change the rate of that. So quite quick. Or if we make it a bit slower. It's quite nice. Or so that's fully positive, back to 0, negative. it's going from closed to open. It's not a favourite of mine, but it's there if you need it. So those are the filter section. Those are the filter knobs. The next three sets of knobs that I've got are I've got the modulation effects. So I'll switch the modulation over here, and then we can just make sure we've got nothing aggressive on the filter. So let's if we turn these on, you'll notice the lights for the effects ones they're blank when they're off, but as soon as I turn them on, there you go, we come in. So we've got our chorus, our ensemble, phaser, flanger, and a wah-wah that I got from Hammond Eggs. If you can check out their stuff, it's really good. So we can just cycle through those, and then within that we've got our modulation rate or time and depth. So let's give it some depth. Just turn the rate down. And that's your modulation settings. Let's go through to the delay. Same thing, if it's off, little light is off there, turn it on. Okay, there's our delay. Again, we've got our delayed time. And our delay amount. And quite interestingly, there's a lot of feedback there, that's great, really nice. Quite interestingly, we've got a dry wet mix, which I don't seem to be able to find anywhere in multiple presses on here. So completely dry, bit wet, 50-50, or if you open it up all the way, we're just getting the wet signal. Okay, and again you can cycle through your various delay types. And finally down here we've got the reverb section. So the reverbs are really nice on this, so we're going to turn it on. Let's go to our reverb. There we go, we're on Hall. Okay, and again reverb time. Let's give it some at least. Okay, and reverb amount. And again, there's a dry wet mix, so we can go 100% wet. So we're only getting the wet signal there, which is quite nice. And then we can cycle through our various different things. So we've got the riser, it's like a shimmer. I'm using the albedo, Sine Vibes albedo, it's quite nice. And that's it really, apart from the arpeggiator section, which I'll come to last. So we've got the, like I say, the oscillators up here, we've got the tremolo, the LFO, the oscillator LFO for pitch and wave shaping. We've got depths and rates and things. We've got our envelope section here with attack, release and type. We've got our modulation effects settings. We've got our delay effects settings. We've got our reverb effects settings. We've got this little rogue one up here, which is the filter type. And then we've got our actual filter controls down here. So cutoff, resonance, envelope sweep, amount, and envelope sweep rate, and that's sort of everything. So the only thing left really is for the arpeggiator, and the arpeggiator is I haven't been able to find a way of turning the arpeggiator on using any of these buttons yet. I don't know if it's got a MIDI CC applied to it, but I I'm just going to start running it. I'm just going to latch it to something. Quite quiet there. So the arpeggiator's got various different scales it can do. So it can do major, minor, augmented, diminished, or suspended notes, and it can run over. It's got various different patterns within it, and it's got various different. It does like different lengths across different octaves. So let's just start it running again. This one is our Arpeggiator Pattern. So that's up and down, and it'll just scroll through various different ones. Next one is so we've got our major chords, we've got, I think it's like some kind of suspended or augmented, minors, diminished, and then this one is our octave control. Really nice. So we just add a bit of reverb to it. Let's go for and that's it. Hopefully that's really useful. I'll you can hear that man hammering away in the background, it's great. I'll put a link for the Systemsx file, the BC Manager file, and also a little JPEG just explaining things in the description below. I hope that's useful. If you've got one of these and one of these, then maybe that just might make things a bit easier for you. Thanks a lot. Thanks for listening, watching, appreciate your time. Cheers, bye.